Chapter 20, Example 3. For each of the following situations, state whether a type 1, a type 2, or neither error has been made. Explain briefly. A bank wants to see if the enrollment on their website is above 30% based on a small sample of customers. It tests H0, P equals 0.3, versus HA, P is greater than 0.3, and rejects the null hypothesis. Later, the bank finds out that actually 28% of all customers enrolled. So let's look at our table here. The first row is rejecting, the second is failing to reject, and we're rejecting here. So we can either have a type 1 error or no error. Since 28% enrolled, which is below the 0.3, our alternative, it's close to the 0.3, our null, we would have a type 1 error. Because the null hypothesis would be true, for our purposes, 0.3, because it's clearly not greater than. So, this is type 1 error. We reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative, but the alternative is actually false because, as we said, it's not greater than 30%. So the alternative is actually false since the number of enrolled customers is below 0.3. A student tests 100 students to determine whether other students on her campus prefer Coke or Pepsi, and finds no evidence that preference for Coke is not 0.5. Later, a marketing company tests all students on campus and finds no difference. So here, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, and the marketing company does the same, so there is no error here. We're saying the null is true, or as close as we can get to that. So neither type 1 or type 2 error is present here. The student had the same results as the marketing company's census, so there is no error. A pharmaceutical company tests whether a drug lifts the headache relief rate from 25% achieved by the placebo. The test fails to reject the null hypothesis because the p-value is 0.465. Further testing shows that the drug actually relieves headaches in 38% of people. So here, we fail to reject, so we're in the bottom row, but testing shows that it actually works, so the alternative should be false. But the alternative is true, which gives us a type 2 error. We can look at the hypothesis to help us out with this. So the null hypothesis is that p equals 0.25. The alternative is that p is greater than 0.25. And we're saying it's actually 0.38, so the alternative seems to be above 0.25. The null hypothesis was not rejected, even though the drug did work. This is type 2 error.